Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Our group will be presenting the analysis of the ESP Audit Committee Charter, which is part of the case study for our Aud679 course. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Azlina Jami and this is my team members. The ESP Audit Committee Charter is a document that explains the purpose, authority, responsibilities, and the structure of an organization audit committee. It serves as a guide for the committee operations and ensure that it reflects with the board of directors oversight responsibilities, particularly concerning financial reporting, internal control, and risk management. This charter also serves as a guide for how the audit committee should function, and it reflects the company commitment to strong corporate governance, accountability, and transparency, which is ties directly to our course learning outcome 3.
Good day everyone, my name is Nur Khalida Ikhlas binti Abbas. I will be presenting the charter summary of the ESP Audit Committee Charter. The Audit Committee is composed of 3 to 5 members and all members must be independent of management and the company's operation. This independence is crucial in ensuring unbiased oversight. These members are appointed by the external or non-executive board members and serve 3-year staggered terms. Staggered terms mean not all members are replaced at the same time, which helps maintain continuity and institutional memory. A majority of members must be financially literate, meaning they can understand and interpret financial statements and accounting policies. Additionally, at least one member must be a designated financial expert, which is someone with deeper knowledge in areas like financial reporting and internal control process. Lastly, a chairperson is appointed from among the members to lead the committee. A quorum for the committee's decision is met when at least 3 members are present. Moving on to the next chapter summary, which is authority of the audit committee. The ESP Audit Committee is granted significant authority to carry out its responsibility effectively. Most importantly, the committee has the power to investigate any activity within the organization. This authority is essential in uncovering issues like fraud, policy violation, or financial irregularities. To support its investigation, the committee can also retain external experts such as legal counsel, financial consultants, or IT specialists. But this must be done with the board's approval. This allows the committee to bring the necessary expertise when dealing with complex or technical matters. Furthermore, the charter ensures that all employees are required to cooperate with the committee's inquiries. This means the committee has unrestricted access to records, personnel, and information system. This level of authority reinforces the audit committee's role as a key mechanism of accountability and transparency within the organization. Without it, the committee would not be able to function independently or thoroughly. Now let's take a look at the third charter summary, which is responsibilities of the audit committee. The Audit Committee plays a central communication role between key parties such as the Board of Directors, the Chief Audit Executive (CAE), the external auditors, and the senior management. One of its primary responsibilities is to oversee financial reporting. This includes reviewing how financial statements are prepared, ensuring they comply with applicable standards, and detecting any signs of misstatement or manipulation. The committee is also responsible for overseeing the organization's risk management framework. This includes assessing how the company identifies, monitors, and responds to key risks, including operational, financial, and compliance risks. Another major responsibility is the evaluation of internal controls. These are the policies and procedures that help ensure the integrity of financial reporting and operational effectiveness. The Audit Committee also provides input on the company's governance structure, ensuring ethical practice and legal compliance throughout the organization. Overall, the committee acts as the board guardians, making sure that financial practice and reporting process are both transparent and accountable. Lastly, we move on to the last charter summary, which is specific duties of the Audit Committee. The ESP Audit Committee is assigned a wide range of detailed oversight duties. These include: first, reviewing strategic and tactical plans submitted by management. This helps ensure that business decisions are aligned with the company's goals and are executed with proper risk controls. Second, the committee reviews reports from the Chief Risk Officer and ensures the internal audit team's assessments are taken seriously. Third, one of its important functions is to evaluate the performance and independence of the external auditors and even recommend their appointment or discharge to the board. Next, the committee also reviews the company's annual financial result, including the Form 10-K and other regulatory filings. It looks for unusual transaction estimates and any disagreements between management and auditors. The committee must also ensure compliance with ethic policies such as code of conduct, conflict of interest statements, and whistleblower programs. Additionally, it can initiate special investigation, for example, to check for fraud, misconduct, or violation of laws like the Foreign Corrupt Practice Act. Lastly, the audit committee must report back to the board on all these activities and provide formal recommendations based on its evaluation. In summary, the ESP Audit Committee Charter provides a robust foundation for effective governance, financial oversight, and risk management. However, as we will explore further in the next section of the presentation, there are also several areas for improvement in the Charter, which we will cover under the Issues and Recommendations section. Thank you.
The second issue is that the Charter only briefly mentions independence without explaining how it will be evaluated or preserved, which is weak emphasis on independence and objectivity. This can lead to perceived or actual bias in audit committee decisions, especially if there are no clear rules in place. According to IIA Standard 11,000, independence and objectivity are essential for trustworthy assurance. Without them, audit results may not be reliable. Next, the third issue is that the duties of the Chief Audit Executive or CAE are scattered and vaguely defined throughout the Charter. This lack of clarity leads to unclear expectation, which may reduce the CAE's effectiveness and cause reporting conflicts. As that in IIA Standard 1110, the CAE must report functionally to the Audit Committee and administratively to the CEO. Without this structure, the CAE's independence could be at the risk. And finally, the fourth issue. The fourth issue is that the Charter repeats similar duties across multiple items. For example, reviewing internal control or financial reporting. This kind of repetition leads to confusion and can result in inefficient meeting or oversight fatigue. To be effectiveness, a charter should be clear and non-repetitive, which help the committee stay focused and ensure better tracking of responsibility. These four issues show the need for better structure, alignment, and the clarity in the charter to strengthen the audit committee's overall functions.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Arifsa. I want to present about evidence and justification issue. For issue 1, lack of alignment with IPPF and internal audit charter. For evidence, first, no mention of IPPF. Second, no linkage to the internal audit charter. Third, fails to define a formal framework for internal audit governance. For justification, first, according to IIA, internal audit must be consistent with IPPF. Second, lack of alignment risk, inconsistent auditing practice that reduce the professional credibility of the committee. Issue 2, weak emphasis on independence and objectivity. For evidence, 1, charter only states members must be independent of management. Second, no process or safeguard to assess or maintain independence. Third, no mention of conflict of interest declaration or restriction. For justification, first, IAS standard internal auditors must maintain independence and objectivities. Second, lack of enforcement mechanism increase risk of management influence. Third, reduce the committee's ability to perform unbiased oversight. Issue 3, unclear role and reporting of CAE. The Chief Audit Executive role and reporting structure above. For evidence, first, CAE duties are scattered in the charter without clear structure. Second, no defined functional reporting to the Audit Committee. Third, no clear administrative reporting line to senior management. For justification, first, IAS standard requires to CAE to report functionally to the board. Second, unclear structure risk compromising CAE independence. Third, may limit audit effectiveness and objectivity. Lastly, issue for overlapping and redundant duties. For evidence, item 4A, 12, and 18 all involve internal control and audit report reviews. For second, responsibilities are repeated without clear differentiation. For justification, first overlap cause confusion in defense meeting and redundant tasks. Second, according to IAA and NASCT best practice, audit charter should be consistent and well structured. For third, clarity, improve oversight and accountability.
Assalamualaikum to our lecturer, Madam Kamalia. My name is Nur Afidali with the student ID 2020565287. We'll presenting the recommendation based on the issue we have identified. So the first recommendation is align with the IPPF and internal audit charter by including a clear statement in the charter to follow the international professional practice framework IPPF and the internal audit charter. This ensures the committee refers to global audit standard. For example, other companies usually mention IPPF in the charter to show they follow international rules. Next, strengthen independence and objectivity. The chairperson should be appointed by the full board of directors, not just by committee members, and all members must declare their independence every year. This reduces the risk of bias or conflict of interest. For example, if a manager picks a chairman, that chairman may not question management decision fully. The third one, clarify CAE's roles and reporting line, clearly stating that the chief audit executive should report functionally to the audit committee and administrative to the CEO. Also, they should meet regularly with the audit committee. This gives the CAE freedom to report audit issue without fear. For example, if the CAE only report to the CEO, they may afraid to highlight problem caused by the top management. And the last recommendation is simplify overlapping duties. Consolidate related tasks and revise the pricing to make the charter more clear and structured. This avoids confusion and help the committees to focus better. For example, the charter currently repeats similar tasks like reviewing risk and internal control in different sections. Therefore, this one should be grouped together. Next, we will present the value of recommendation. The first one is the audit committee's work become more credible and professional when the charter and IPPF are in line with professional audit standard, just like other high-quality organizations. For example, this helps gain trust from investors and external auditors. The second recommendation value is requiring member disclosure and appointing an unbiased chair encourages objectivity and lower the possibility of prejudice. For example, this builds confidence that the committee is not controlled by management. The third value of recommendation, communication, accountability, and oversight are all enhanced by making the CAE reporting lines more clear. Clear reporting lines and regular meeting with the CAE allow better oversight and faster communication when issues arise. For example, if an audit finds fraud, the CAE can report it directly to the committee, not through layer of management. And the last one is reduce duplication of effort, improve committee effectiveness, and guarantees greater focus on key responsibilities. For example, clear structure make it easier for new committee members to understand their roles. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will continue with the conclusion. To conclude our case study, we analyzed the current ESP Audit Committee Charter and identified several key issues that compromise its effectiveness. First, the Charter does not align with the International Professional Practices Framework (IPPF) or the Internal Audit Charter, which are essential for ensuring consistency and credibility in audit practices. Second, while the Charter mentions independence, it lacks clear mechanism to enforce or evaluate the objectivity of its members. This opens the door for potential bias and reduced audit quality. Third, the Chief Audit Executive role and reporting lines are vague and, un- and scattered throughout the Charter. This can limit their ability to function independently and reduce oversight effectiveness. Finally, we observe redundant and overlapping duties, which can lead to confusions, inefficient meetings, and poor accountability. Based on these findings, we recommend the following improvements. Firstly, align the charter with IPPF and COSO to improve professional standards. Secondly, clarify the CAE's functional and administrative reporting lines to preserve independence. Thirdly, add a clause for annual charter review to ensure ongoing relevance. And lastly, consolidate repetitive duties to streamline responsibilities. And finally, expand the scope to include cybersecurity, ESG, and fraud risk oversight areas that are increasingly critical today. These changes will not only strengthen ESP governance framework but also enhance audit transparency and effectiveness. Most importantly, they align ESP with global audit best practices and ensure its audit committee continue to add value through objective assurance and strategic oversight. On behalf of our team, thank you for your time and attention.